Hey, happy Thursday, everyone. So, what are we eating today, and what else are we up to? Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Radical Geek YouTube channel where we regularly upload videos and are currently doing a daily vlog on what we're eating. Uh, First of all, on a normal ketogenic diet, but also for a while I have to do a BBBE and elimination diet while we are looking for to discover what kind of intolerances and allergies I may be experiencing, and generally just sharing with our friends and our subscribers. So I look forward to seeing your comments, what you are doing during this time period. In the meantime, sometimes in the interim between our meals, we talk about a little topic, whether it be about metabolics or emotional well being, just daily blather, nerd things that are happening, all that kind of stuff. Today, because I have an ankle injury and I was kind of having myself like a bit of a downswing emotionally. Uh, Also, I discovered my ketones had kind of dropped a little bit, which is probably part of the healing process, but I want to be very careful of that. And I just generally wanted to feel a little bit better. I have bacon for breakfast. It looks like way more than it actually is. We cut the pieces in half when we cook them, and I cooked today. So that felt good to be able to do something somewhat useful. Um, to be fair, Attila actually laid everything out on the trays for me, and all I did was monitor it, but it was better. And I am choosing my coffee experience to be a butter and egg coffee. It's not something that I recommend having all the time, every day, because, I want to make rooms for my regular food and protein and stuff. So it's kind of heavy on the fat this morning, but I'm not like all worried about it. High fat is actually good for ketone boosting, and that's great. Uh, so that's my meal one, and I am looking forward to it. I will tell you that my ankle hurts like the dickens, but it is definitely way better, significantly improved over yesterday. I managed to get myself a shower, which felt amazing. I needed one really bad. I didn't stink or anything, but it just, you get that feeling when you miss your daily shower. So I just felt like I needed one, and just being in there. We had a good chuckle looking at my foot later because it actually had so much inflammation and water retention and stuff that across the top of my foot it looked like it had like a little belly fat roll. So that was probably not so great, but we actually had great amusement about it. And then I just laid in bed and propped it up, and that helped a lot. So for my mental health, it helped a lot that it felt better this morning and that I was able to do a few things. Of course, now I'm like, well, that was enough things that I have done and I have to sit for a little while. So I just took some ibuprofen. I'm propping my foot up and I'm going to dive into some spreadsheets at the office, sit in on some meetings. Super cool. It's not really work, but provided by work. They're having something called a virtual cooking series. And while I know it's not going to be ketogenic, I'm very excited to attend and see what they put forward. Uh, this one is called the Cancer Bridge Kitchen Series. So after that meeting, I'm gonna I'm gonna talk about that and tell you what my place of work is offering as like a little perk for employees. They're really, because we've been remote for so long, they're really putting effort into uh, fostering us, just having some kind of like little mental things to step away, because people do tend to get really buried into the work, and your work life balance gets out of kilter, and they really want people to. I had to taste it. It's coffee. So I'm pleased with that. But so I'm kind of really excited, even if it's not ketogenic recipes, sometimes you learn like a different cooking technique, or you get some inspiration or ideas. And if nothing else, I just get to meet coworkers that I don't normally work with on a day-to-day basis. So I'm really excited for that. And I think it's going to be great. Plus, I didn't get to go to my mahjong club last night, so I was kind of feeling sorry for myself and down in the dumps. Other exciting things, um, a friend of mine is moving, so they had some cube shelves that I think is going to be fantastic because I have a shelf with some board games that's not an ideal shelf. It used to be like a microwave shelf, and I'm looking forward to replacing it with cube shelves, which would not only be better for my board games, but also possibly increase the capacity. I have a little bit of overflow right now. And then the other shelf can come up to my room that is a bit of storage where we're putting convention and meetup and excess crafting supplies, a little workspace so I can kind of tidy up in here a little bit because I've had a couple conventions in a row and then I hurt my foot. My office is untidy, which makes me crazy. Um, so I'm hoping that by this weekend, in addition to being able to hit the butcher shop, while I know I can't go to the social event that I wanted to go to, like really bad because it was hanging out with friends that I really adore, but I can't deal with it because I can't put on regular pants. And how am I going to sit outside, even by a bonfire, in a little skirt? It's just not happening. And I can't put on a shoe. So I had to be realistic on what I can and can't accomplish. Can I get myself, well, all right, can someone drive me to the butcher shop and can I shuffle around in one shoe and one slipper for half an hour while I pick out some meats? Probably. I might wonder why I don't just send one of the family members to the store, but to be honest, I'm picky enough about the meat that I feel that I really want to go there and see it, touch it, etc. Well, maybe not touch it, but you know what I'm saying. I want to get my, I need to be there. And also, so I can, uh, I realized that normally I would buy like a large cut and then break it down myself at home. I can't do that right now. How am I going to be hoisting a bunch of meat around and tossing it and slicing it up? It's not going to happen. So I want to make sure that I get to talk one on one with the butcher to give my personal preferences. I'm going to go ahead and pay whatever fees it is to have things done, making some decisions today. Also, exciting stuff that I feel, are normal things that maybe I take for granted. This morning, I managed to get myself together. I've put a strip loin roast and some short ribs into the smoker, uh, not the Kamado. I just use the pellet smoker for ease. So, is it like 100% perfection ideal? No, but is it going to be still tasty? Absolutely. But it was easy enough. I managed to get there. I had some help for someone to add pellets to the smoker and uh, carry open doors and stuff like that because I couldn't just do it myself. Normally, I would have had that all done easy peasy and not had to do so much thinking about it, but it felt good to be able to actually do it. And now I can rest for a while because it takes hours and hours before I'm going to have to shuffle down there to give a check on the temp. So, might give you an idea of what my meal two is going to be. Other than that, wow, I really just blathered on. We'll talk a little bit later. See ya. Bye bye. Well, hey friends. So I said I would get back to you and tell you how the work provided cooking class went, and I thought I would tell you it was pretty cool. They actually started with like a little topic of discussion, which I love, and one of my favorite things to talk about, gut microbiome. So I was pretty pleased that they actually went through that, and they did a good job. So of course, it was out of actually the university kitchen, so they must have some volunteers there. It was really cool. I loved it because they talked about how um, each person's microbiome is unique and determined by DNA, diet, environment, medications. So it's not like one of those one size fits all, which I love because that's also something that we forget about in ketogenic food plans. They're not one size fits all either. Everybody has to work to customize it towards themselves. And so I was really thrilled with that. They explained what gut microbiome is, which is the microscopic living things in your intestines. So that was super cool. And they also talked about the roles of the gut microbiome. So, explaining that it helps with digestion. And actually, I knew that in that digestion where, it works with on fiber, and I knew that it helped with the digestion of vitamin K. I did not know that it was also a big aid in breaking down your B vitamins. To me, that is golden because B vitamins are really critical in your ketogenic food plans. Often people run deficient, and we neglect that sometimes. So I think that's great. Feeds into the last week, or yeah, last week when we talked about hair loss and eating your B vitamins. So, and also they mentioned that the gut biome helps with your immunity because it helps communicate with the immune cells to help fight infection. So, big hint for those of you who are sick right now, especially if it's like a bronchial infection or something like that. Another thing that they said that I did not know, so I did get high value, is that there's currently some new emerging brain research, and obviously I'm very invested in brain research. They said that there are some studies in progress that are showing that improving your healthy gut microbiome might, of course, it's just a study in progress, so it might wash out and be totally false, but so far the results are showing that the microbes and microscopic living things may be communicating with your brain to help with your emotions. So, healthy gut microbiome may help with the reduction in your stress and anxiety. I thought that was super groovy. Of course, that doesn't mean like, oh, good, I'm going to eat yogurt and now I don't have to take antidepressants. Of course, that's not how it works. Um, but overall, body health does help with the other things, even though we still may need other medicine to help where there are still issues that need to be resolved. And of course, I'm not a medical doctor, and the health people on our little cooking class, we're not medical professionals either. So there's our disclaimer. This is not medicine. It's just general health talk based on experience and things that we have read and learned in other classes. So sharing, and of course, you need to talk with your personal medical profession. You're going to hear this all the time because I don't want somebody doing something dumb, getting sick, and then saying, well, Maitreya said a cooking person on the internet told them this, and that's why I did it. And, finding out that you have something that you would have known had you talked to your doctor. Make sure you do all of that due diligence. Medical advice from the internet is a helper's aid, not actual medical treatment or treatment advice. So, okay, there. I'm done with my disclaimer. It was a really big one today. They also talked about the differences between probiotics and prebiotics, which I think I see questions a lot, where probiotics are the live active bacteria, that comes in like your yogurts and kombucha and my favorite fermented foods. And prebiotics are the substances that feed the bacteria in your gut. So that's in the foods you eat, like garlic and leeks and asparagus and onions, that kind of thing. So I just thought that was like really cool. Then they did a couple recipes, which, I love recipes, even recipes that I'm not going to eat. They made a nice little lentil soup. I don't eat legumes, so, it's a throwaway recipe for me, but it looked tasty. And then they did pickled onions. And I thought it was a fine pickled onion recipe, with the only exception that they added 2 tablespoons of sugar. And then they said, if you leave sugar out, that's fine. It'll still work. It'll just be very, very sour. And that may not be your desired result. I said, hey, sometimes as an alternative, I like to use a little bit of allulose or erythritol. But we all agreed that the fibers in the erythritol may not be the most exciting substance in your gut health. But the allulose was a good plan. It's not as sweet as sugar, but if you're in a ketogenic food plan, as you go along, that sweetness desire kind of ebbs anyways. So you can reduce it and give it just that little touch to kind of help meld everything together. Uh, the really cool thing that they mentioned that I don't always follow, but they're not incorrect about, that I thought was a good tip, is that in the vinegar that you use to make your brine, they suggest only using white or red vinegar because they said it will be more complementary to the red onion that you use in your pickled onions. Whereas the apple cider vinegar, which I admit to being lazy and using more frequently, can overpower the overall flavor of the pickled onions. So I thought that was a good piece of advice that I didn't have before. I didn't know that. I just kind of thought if I used the apple cider vinegar, it would be more of a sweet leaning and kind of have like that onion apple thing that you do sometimes with like sausages. So pretty groovy that I actually learned it. So I'm really pleased with this, and I'm glad it was a nice to have, a little break during the workday. And now I can focus on my spreadsheet some more and do the less fun part of the workday. So that was it for that, and I'll be back in a little while with meal two because my short ribs and my strip loin roast are all resting in the cooler, and I am really looking forward to trying those out. The strip loin, after I rest it, all it needs now is I'm going to go in and turn my grill up to a high temperature, and you just throw the fat side down on there to give it a little extra crispy render, and it's just for like another 2 minutes or so. You don't want your strip loin to overcook. And I did get caught on a call this morning, so my alarm was going off, so it went over a little bit more than I would have liked. I like to pull it at about 120, and it went to about 128, so that's all right though. It'll still be delicious, I'm sure. So I'll be back to show you that. See you soon. Hey y'all, just showing you my short rib. I've decided not to wait for the strip loin to finish resting. I have a meeting at 1 o'clock, and just look at it. So that is my perfectly delightful flanking cut short rib, and I can't wait. Mm. Oh my God, it's so good. All right, I just couldn't wait, and I knew I just had to try it, and so I wanted to share it with you. Mm. Utter perfection. So we'll talk about those another day. We might have to buy some more from the butcher shop this weekend. Talk to you soon. Hey everyone, so here we are, meal two. I've got my strip loin roast. I don't know yet. I mean, it looks good, but to be honest, for all of the talk that it will be a great substitute, more economical than a rib roast at holiday time, I'm not sure I'm sold on that. I'm gonna eat some of it, and I'll think about that over the course of the weekend. So, however, it does look nice, but I don't think that it's like the substitute that for prime rib roast that it's been made out to be. Is it a good alternative to maybe chuck roast? Probably so. Seems kind of like almost a hybrid between the eye of round and the chuck roast, a compromise for a nice, very fatty sliced roast beef. And that is where my opinion lies so far. We'll see, it could evolve. And then I'm also going to have a serving of just plain pork rinds. I just need a little something else. I ate that short rib, and then this morning I had fatty coffee and bacon, and I'm like, it was just it was good, and it's fit the needs for what I needed, and I did feel better with my ibuprofen and all of that jazz. But now I just need a little something that's not so heavily fatty. So that's my meal too. That's plenty of food for the day, especially since I'm doing absolutely nothing. And but I do obviously feel better. Like yesterday, I just wanted to go to bed at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and today my mental clarity's good. I got a lot of work done, not only on my regular work, but I was able to use some downtime to get some organizational stuff done for other adventures. So all of that felt really good. I just felt more myself, and that was great. So I'm hoping that another, today and tomorrow of just sitting around will have me on a good healing path so that I can very lightly go out a little bit this weekend. I recognize that I can't go out to the, backyard adventures and stuff with my friends because I know that, I can't wear pants yet. So, uh, it's not that I can't wear pants, it's that I don't have pants that will go on over my splint. So, short athletic skirts that I wear all summer is my attire, and it's just not going to cut it for going out in the chilly, cold, and rainy weather. So, I'll stay home. It's good. I have chores that need done, nothing too strenuous. Some of it can be done sitting in a chair, and I have plenty of computer work to do, and that'll be great. So, I know that a lot of you have had colds and flus and bronchial infections. Let me know how you're healing up. I hope that you are starting to feel better too. I would really love to hear that. For those of you who have been on this elimination challenge with me, how are you doing? How's it going for you? If you've been doing a special protocol for a particular reason, share it down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Let's see if there's something we can do to help each other along. Um, we'll say it was extra hard, limiting to the one coffee experience. I've found that when I'm feeling poorly, the warm comfort of a nice afternoon coffee really would have gone a long ways. And I stuck to it and said, no, no, just because I have a physical thing does not mean that I get to mentally comfort myself with food. So that part kind of sucked, but I got through it. And today, because I am feeling better, I'm not like just sitting here clunking over wishing for a coffee. So those are some really good progress things, I think, and I am looking forward to it. I had a great day so far at the office. I've got 2 more meetings today. I had a conversation with my boss, and that was really great. So sunshine's looking up. Oh, and I bought some shelving from a friend who's moving. They're going to show up and drop that in my garage tonight. So I thought about trying to get things ready and bring them inside and all of that. And I was like, listening to the doctor's orders and resting, not deciding to replace my bookshelves full of board games while I can barely stand around for 10 minutes. So I thought ahead and I let everybody in the household know, hey, here's where we're at. These are going to arrive. We're going to make some space in the garage. And either you guys are going to help me move all the board games or you're going to live with them in the garage until I am better to do it myself. Uh, Probably the answer is going to be to let it sit there until I'm ready to do it myself. Uh, Not because anybody is lazy. Nobody in this household is lazy. Um, but I can be a bit picky and controlling. So, who needs that? One of those things. And while I could definitely use the hands up at times, it's better when I can be a little bit hands on at least and then direct how I want the help versus trying to tell somebody and not being able to do any of it or really demo. And I just prefer it that way. So, that's it for today. I hope that you are having an amazing day. I appreciate all of you, and I've seen your struggles online. I've seen your successes online, and I really appreciate them. I do have a Cheese Friday video pre-recorded for tomorrow. I'll tack on my what I ate today, although it's going to look a lot like what I ate today because we have some more of this strip roast and a couple more of the short ribs. I don't know how they warm up, but we'll find out. And even if it's only mediocre, it's still better than having crappy food, right? So I'm looking forward to it. Uh, if you are in the greater Columbus area, or well, actually, two things. If you're in the greater Columbus area and you like volunteer opportunities, uh, reach out and let me know. And secondly, if you are within Ohio, I would love for you to reach out and let me know what your availability is on Saturday, February 18th, weather permitting. Exciting things going on. Maybe not that exciting, but if you were partaking in things that we had just recently, where we went up north to a lovely restaurant and you had a good time, now's the time to let me know what you think about it for February 18th. So let me know. I'll talk to you all real soon. Bye bye.